up? We are back again in another video, and if you are not a regular watcher, welcome. I am currently just getting off work. It is 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which doesn't happen real often, so I'm gonna go ahead and make the best of it. And by that, I mean we're gonna go ahead and rip the nitrous bottle out of the G-body and go get it filled back up so we can have some more fun. And then we're gonna go over what is done to this G-body so everybody can quit asking me. Ripping the nitrous bottle out, and if you watched the last video of when we installed it, this is not the proper way to put nitrous in a car, but dang is it fun. So right now I am taking my Sloppy Mechanics bottle collar off, and by collar I mean it just goes right around where your valve screws in, and then from there we got one that goes down and connects into the bracket that the bottle is sitting on. So I should have brought the impact with. This kind of sucks. I'm going to go ahead and throw it in my freezer for about an hour. They said that they like to chill them before they fill them because it gets a better fill. So I'm not going to argue with the people that have been doing it forever, and I'm just going to listen to them. So I'm going to go ahead and freeze it myself this time since I'm at home and I got nothing else to do while we wait. So just like that, we'll lift the armrest up and out it comes, just like that. So let's go chill it. So quick little update on the nitrous revision number 2. So I am going in and we're going to put it into the front of the intake instead of dumping in the top, because at the current moment it is firing in one cylinder more than the other. After I show you guys what I got going on here with the throttle body, I'm gonna go ahead and swap out the lines in the car, and I need to go buy a fitting. But let's dive into this throttle body to see how we're gonna hide our nitrous up into the front of the motor. So this is your standard drive-by cable throttle body, and I went ahead and I cut the steam port off of it and started smoothing it out. And I have a little dot here where I'm gonna drill a hole at. So this is a 1/8 inch NPT fitting, and I'm gonna put a fitting right in the bottom of this intake. So I ground the hump out of it a little bit, and it will sit just on the inside of the butterfly. And as it opens, it will suck in all the air, and nothing should change. Definitely have to make sure that we seal this fitting up super good so we don't get any air leaks. Okay, so what you're gonna wanna do is take a punch and mark it so your drill don't walk around. There's not a whole lot of room to be playing with here, but there is a little bit if you do make a mistake. So now we have a indent. Got our hole drilled. We got aluminum shavings in our throttle body, but don't worry about that right now. Once we get done tapping it, we will clean this whole entire thing up. Another thing, now that I have this drilled, is you could definitely move the hole in farther. There is a little more meat on this side of it than this side. All right, so I made it to go get the fittings and some of the line, and what we're gonna use is 1/8 inch copper brake line, or just copper line, and then we have 1/8 inch compression fitting to 1/8 inch NPT, and this NPT is going to screw directly into our hole that we drilled and tapped earlier, just like this. And as you can see, it sits flush in the bottom, and I actually thought it was gonna stick through a little farther, so that is a win. But we need to put Teflon tape on this and wrench it down to make sure that it's not gonna leak. Make sure you don't over tighten this and strip it out, because the fitting is brass and the housing is aluminum, which are two very easy materials to stretch and strip out. I cut a little piece just to show you guys what this is gonna be like. So you're gonna take your cap off your fitting and put that on. And then you got this little tiny ferrule. Make sure you don't lose it, but you can buy more if you do. It will look something like this inside the car, except with a tighter bend. And that leaves how we're gonna connect it to the bottle. And we're gonna run this 1/8 inch copper line 98% of the way. I have the fittings to go hardline to AN fitting, and then from there we can go AN fitting onto the bottle. But as you see, this is a rubber hose, so I'm just gonna hose clamp it and flare my hardline for now. In the future, in revision number 3 of Ghetto Boy Nitrous kit, we will go ahead and put all of the right fittings on. All right, so this is what it's gonna look like coming off the bottle. I'll trim this down so it's shorter, and then we'll go rubber hose into our AN6 fitting that screws into our bottle, and this will pretty much complete it. And with enough persistence, you too will get it on, but hopefully with the hose clamps that I forgot. This is gonna be our final product for getting into our 1/8 inch hard line. So I am going to get the bottle bolted in the car, and we will run this line. We'll take out the old line, run this line. I'm gonna cut it at the firewall so it's like a little grommet on this one. And then we will trim this and get it plumbed into here and swap out throttle bodies. We got our throttle body swapped out. Nuts are tight. Need to plug in the electrical, but this is what it looks like. A little tiny fitting down below. We'll go ahead and plug these in. And you can't even see it. Slip the intake pipe back on. We'll come around and look at it from the other side. It's the only way you're gonna know it's in there is from this side, and you know that you're looking for it. So during the last clip, halfway through or so, I decided, you know what? Maybe we'll just put a false hose on it. So I went ahead and split a hose and put it on the hard line, tucked it underneath the intake, and that should help height it up a lot better. Just getting it buttoned up here, and I started to get the copper line kind of fitted to where I wanted it. And you can see it just kind of rides that loom down, and right through the firewall we'll pop it out. That'll work for a grommet. It kind of looks like maybe there was a electrical wire that was going through it or something of the similar, and we're never gonna explain it to anybody as long as it works. We have moved on to the inside. So I coiled it up so it wouldn't just jab into the floor and it'd be easier to sneak through the firewall. I kind of held it where I wanted it and left it a little bit long and cut it. And then this piece will come like so right into the line. And then we'll bolt the bottle in and it is done. Now we need to put our Okay, so we need to see if the system has any leaks in it, and we are not really supposed to be doing it this way. You're supposed to crack the valve when the motor's running at 3,000 plus RPMs. I've read somewhere in one of the instruction manuals that I tried to read. So in the meantime, we're just gonna hold it open. I'm gonna set you guys down and we're gonna see if nitrous comes out that little fitting. And just like that, you got Ghetto Boy Nitrous revision number 2. Imagine how much nitrous we put through this 100% factory O2 Tahoe motor when it was a 3/8 feed line on the nitrous. Absolutely ridiculous. So we stepped it down, and as you guys saw, it's still got plenty of juice in it, and I can't wait till tomorrow. We're gonna get this thing out, go ripping in it. But I'm gonna wrap this video up here. There is a lot of people asking what is done to this motor or what are the specs on it. This is a 100% factory 2002 Tahoe motor on a 100% factory Tahoe tune. The only exception is I went in and turned the injectors down from 33 pounds to 25 pounds. And it made the world of difference on the O2 sensors. I don't even have a wideband in this car, and I'm playing with the tune, so I'm pretty much playing with fire. As far as the transmission goes, it's just a used, rebuilt Turbo 350, and it's got a stall converter in it. Now, if you're wondering how big the stall converter is, I can't even tell you. I bought the transmission used. He told me it's a 3500 stall. I can only get it up to 2,800, and that's where we've been launching it at, roughly 26 to 2,800. It's got a factory 7.5-inch rear end in it. Everybody thinks I'm absolutely crazy. It don't even have a locker in it. It's welded up. It's broken once. There's spider gears missing out of it. The spider gear carrier chunked out when it broke. I filled it all back in with weld. So it is 100% welded. It is on factory suspension minus the anti-roll bar in the back. It's got worn out Bilstein shocks in the back. So I guess technically that's not factory, but the springs are factory. The front shocks are factory replacements. This thing is factory as it can get. If you're wondering what tires I'm on a 28 10.5 Mickey Thompson right now. I have 255 65, I think, radials. Mickey Thompson radials. Next season, we're going to go to a Hoosier Slick. I have no idea why it ever became a thing, but I have never owned a slow G-body, and I'll be damned if I'm going to start now. This thing hauls ass. That's everything I got to make a G-body haul ass. Do with it what you will. Just remember, this is less than $2,500 buying the car and LS swapped. You don't need big boy money to go fast.